Peace, family. We are live again. Donnie Samir, Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. I apologize about being tardy. I apologize, but we made it. We are here. And we're going to have a great show. Hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Before we get started, we got a couple of announcements. Let me make sure the right audio was on. There we go. We have a couple of announcements. Man, the weather has dropped here in Atlanta again. Y'all know I don't like cold weather at all. Again, I don't like cold weather. I cannot stand the cold. Like Missy Elliott, I can't stand the rain. I can't stand the cold. I can't stand it. But we're going to get through this. We are going to get through this. But we are rolling to Sierra Leone. So I am hosting. It's hot in Oakland. Well, it's always hot in Oakland. Y'all don't know how to act in Oakland. Not only is the weather hot in Oakland, Oakland is hot because it's Oakland. You know, folks don't know how to act. Why, Charlie? Why y'all breaking into Aisha Curry's boutique shop? Charlie, why are you guys breaking into Aisha Curry's home goods shop? Y'all stealing everything in Oakland. Breaking into houses, the grocery store. Y'all are breaking into everything in Oakland. So Oakland, not only is the weather hot in Oakland, Oakland is just hot, period. The town. So guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Got a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, let's see here. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. All right. So if you guys don't know, Sierra Leone citizenship is back on. Again, Sierra Leone citizenship is back on. Okay. Couple rule changes. Number one, you have to go twice. So the days of showing up to Sierra Leone and leaving with the passport in less than 2 weeks, those days are over. Those days are now over. You got to come twice now in order to secure your citizenship. And the government raised the fees. So it's like $650 now. So if you're interested in joining us in Sierra Leone, I am facilitating a trip next month. Man, you know what? It's already almost April. It's March 20th. Goodness, it is already almost April. It is March 20th. So I am facilitating a trip for next month in April, end of the month, the 22nd of April through May 2nd. And then I will actually be personally going with the group in December. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Also, they have now opened it up to more DNA companies. So not only African ancestry is accepted, now ancestry.com, 23andMe, and CRI, I believe it's called CRI. So if you guys are interested, please visit donfo.africa. And once again, you have to wait a year. So if you come with the group in April, you won't get your passport to the following April. If you come in December, you won't get your passport to the following December. The group that came with me this past November, they're going to be receiving their passports in December. So please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. What else do we have going on here? Also, we're going to Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival. And then we're rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. Then we're going to Namibia and South Africa in November, then back to Sierra Leone in December. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Africa. Let's jump into today's topic. I want to play this clip, and this is of Don Cheadle. And I'm just going to play the clip. All right. And see, I understand why you pretendians, you wobbles are so afraid of DNA tests. You, we ain't African. We the Cherokees. Like, I understand why you're afraid of DNA tests. Because, like how Mari Povich used to say, you're not the father. The DNA test is going to say you're not the Cherokee. You're not the Muskogee. You're not the Choctaw. But let's see. Let's pull this up real quick. Let's play this clip real quick.
What are you most eager to learn about your family?
I don't know, everything. All of the little stories are amazing, are fascinating.
Actor Don Cheadle has never heard anything about his ancestors who lived through the aftermath of slavery. So we searched for clues about his father's side of the family. The paper trail that we uncovered confounded our expectations. Unlike most African Americans who were freed by the end of the Civil War, your ancestors weren't.
Mm.
They couldn't get it right.
Well,
they just stuck to it.
well, somebody didn't get it right, but it wasn't your ancestors. It was the people who own them. Take a look at this.
Chickasaw Nation Freedmen Roll.
This document is an official enrollment card for the Chickasaw Freedmen, the former slaves owned by the Chickasaw Nation.
Owned by the Chickasaw Nation.
Owned by the Chickasaw Nation. Your ancestors were enslaved by Native Americans. Here's your great-great-grandmother, Mary Kemp, her 11 children, including Bill Cheadle, your great-grandfather, William. And you can see William's father, Henderson, or Hence Cheadle. You are one of the few African Americans who was not enslaved by white people, enslaved by Native Americans.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's crazy because really you feel like, oh, the two biggest blights on the way this country started, you know, slavery and the genocide of the Native Americans and the Trail of Tears and all those horrible stories of what has happened to the Native people here. And then our family was owned by people who had suffered. It's just, that's mind-blowing.
Most people don't realize that the Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, Choctaw, and Chickasaw nations owned slaves. As self-governing entities, they weren't subject to the laws of the United States. So what did this mean for Don Cheadle's ancestors? When the Civil War ended, the 5 civilized tribes kept their slaves. They refused to liberate their slaves.
Everybody wanted to roll with the slavery thing as long as they could.
That's right. They said, come and get them.
Yeah, you got to take my slave.
You got to,
pry it from my cold, dead hand.
And I had no idea. I mean,
I had neither. This is amazing.
The United States government didn't make a treaty with the Chickasaw until 1866, forcing them to liberate their slaves and make them citizens. The Chickasaws freed their slaves, but they did not offer them citizenship in the Chickasaw Nation.
Are they honorary white people? I mean, what's going on here?
Don, your ancestors were in Indian territory, yet they were neither Chickasaw nor were they Americans.
Oh boy.
They were a people without a country.
Oh boy.
Without any legal status at all.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The Chickasaw freedmen would spend decades in this stateless limbo, invisible and forgotten.
Oh boy. There it goes. Hold on. Let me find the one with Tina Turner. Hold on. Here we go. Let me find the one with Tina Turner. Same thing. See, my grandmama said that we was the Indians. My grandmama said we was the
But
Indians.
most of the former slaves entered the Reconstruction era with unparalleled hope. They were eager to build new lives in the South.
My grandmama said we was the Indians.
Live your whole life in Tennessee?
Oh, no. I knew I wanted to go somewhere because I didn't like the cotton fields.
One of the first songs that you wrote, I believe, was entitled Nutbush City Limits.
That's true.
Could you sing it for me?
Church house, gym house, dun, schoolhouse, house. Highway number 19. People keep the city clean. They call it Nutbush.
Music legend Tina Turner grew up in Tennessee, where her great-great-grandfather Logan Curry had been enslaved. Like most former slaves with no financial resources, Logan had little choice but to remain on the plantation after he was free. Yet he wanted to make one thing perfectly clear. He was now the master of his own fate. This document is dated January 6, 1866, and it's a labor contract.
Right.
Now, we've searched post-Civil War labor contracts up and down, looking for as many as we could for every guest in our series. And this is the only one that we've ever found. The only one.
The said Jesse Carey, on his part, promises to furnish the above-named freedmen land to cultivate the farming tools, the horses, the mules, and we, the above-named freedmen, on our part, promises to cultivate sufficient grain for the use of the family and stock the balance in cotton.
Right.
Oh, I hated the cotton field because there were those hairy worms crawling, there were the spiders, and also the picking of the cotton. I couldn't quite get as much in my sack as everybody else. And everyone was picking and pushing it down, and their sacks were really full, and I really wanted that.
How old were you when you started?
Oh, you know, I don't really remember, but what you do remember is the cones, your hands in the cuticles, and the sun. The sun was so hot.
Well, Tina, this document lays out the terms by which your great-great-grandfather Logan and his family would barter their labor with the white man named Jesse Curry, the same man who had owned them before the Civil War ended.
Yes.
So they didn't leave, they stayed, but they struck up a deal with them.
Yes.
An arrangement, as you know, that came to be called sharecropping.
Yes.
The relationship between Logan Curry and his former master changed dramatically. Instead of owner and property, they were now employer and employee.
Hey guys, let me play this video. This video will be better. Hold on, let me play this one.
Equality.
Let me play this one. This one right here
We
gets
searched
to
the
the point.
records
Hold on.
to see what else we could find out about
Hold on.
Logan Curry.
Here we go.
What are you most eager to learn about your family?
I don't know, everything. All of the little stories are amazing, are fascinating.
The grandma lying to
Dr.
you.
Don Cheadle
Stories of
has never
grandma
heard
lying to
anything
you.
about his ancestors
The
who lived
stories of
through the
grandma lying
aftermath
to
of
you, talking about
slavery.
you the Indian and you not.
So we
Them
searched
stories.
for clues about his father's side of the family. The paper trail that we uncovered confounded our expectations. Unlike most African Americans who were freed by the end of the Civil War, your ancestors weren't.
They couldn't get it right.
Well,
They just stuck to it.
well, take a look at this.
Chickasaw Nation Freedmen Roll.
This
Hold on,
document
guys.
is
I'm
an
playing this
official
again, but you gotta
enrollment
just
card
watch it. Just
for
watch
the
the whole
Chickasaw
thing.
freedmen, the former slaves owned by the Chickasaw Nation.
Owned by the Chickasaw Nation.
Owned by the Chickasaw Nation. Your ancestors were enslaved by Native Americans. Here's your great-great-grandmother, Mary Kemp, her 11 children, including Bill Cheadle, your great-grandfather, William. And you can see William's father, Henderson, or Hence Cheadle. You are one of the few African Americans who was not enslaved by white people, enslaved by Native Americans.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's crazy because
most people don't realize that the Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, Choctaw, and Chickasaw nations owned slaves. As self-governing entities, they weren't subject to the laws of the United States. So what did this mean for Don Cheadle's ancestors? When the Civil War ended, the 5 civilized tribes kept their slaves. They refused to liberate their slaves.
Everybody wanted to roll with the slavery thing as long as they could.
That's right. They said, come and get them.
Yeah, you got to take my slave.
You got, yeah.
Pry it from my cold, dead hand.
And I had no idea. I mean,
I had neither. This is amazing.
The United States government didn't make a treaty with the Chickasaw until 1866, forcing them to liberate their slaves and make them citizens. The Chickasaws freed their slaves, but they did not offer them citizenship in the Chickasaw Nation.
These honorary white people? I mean, what's going on here?
Don, your ancestors were in Indian territory, yet they were neither Chickasaw nor were they Americans. They were a people without a country and without any legal status at all.
That's crazy.
The Chickasaw freedmen would spend decades in this stateless limbo, invisible and forgotten. By the time the century drew to a close, the United States government had turned its back on our people all over the South. But out west, where the Chickasaw freedmen had been living as stateless people for over 30 years, the status of Indian territory was about to change. In the late 1890s, the United States government drew up official rolls of the citizens and former slaves of the Native American nations. Don Cheadle's ancestors were among those who were ready to stand up and be counted. Your great-great-grandparents would have had to travel to Tishomingo, the capital of the Chickasaw Nation, in order to enroll. But it was a last chance for former slaves like your ancestors to claim Chickasaw identity. This is the land allotment records for Johnston County, Oklahoma.
Mary Kemp, Henderson Cheadle. So they got some land.
And the number of acres?
40. The fabled 40.
40 acres of land given to them free and clear by their former slaveholders. Can you imagine what this meant to your ancestors?
That's huge. That's economic freedom if you can farm it and work it and use it.
Yeah. Don, your ancestors suffered for decades as a people with no status at all. Yet in the end, they received something that other African Americans, as you know, only dreamed about.
They're 40 acres.
The vaunted 40 acres.
There it is.
And right down there where your ancestors had their homesteads, you can see the town of Wiley, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Now, Wiley was one of the all-black towns founded by former slaves.
So the whole town was free slaves?
Whole town, all black. Still, can you imagine what it was like for your ancestors to live through slavery, finally get freed, then be stateless for 30 years, and then find themselves suddenly landowners and landowners in an all-black town?
Yeah, amazing. It must have felt like finally, you know, free at last, for real.
There's another video I wanted to play that was...
In 1907, Oklahoma became a state, and the Chickasaw freedmen were United States citizens at last. The African American people wear racial mixture right on their faces. And the greatest percentage of our admixture comes from European ancestors. But for some reason, it's much easier for us to imagine another source.
He knew his grandmother, Elizabeth Redmond, and he said she was a full-blooded Cherokee.
Like almost...
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. No, she wasn't. Sorry. No, she wasn't. And the thing is, when you take the DNA test, like myself, for example, majority Black Americans, we have more white European admixture than we do Native American. But we want to claim the Native American and ignore the white admixture. In fact, we want to claim the Native American, the Wabos do, or the Pretendians. They want to claim the Native American and ignore the African and the white, which is crazy. But let's continue.
All African Americans I know, my relatives are convinced that we have Native Americans in the family.
This is Lucy's sister, and she had hair down to her knee. I thought she looked, like a Native American.
And that's, like I said, that was my mom, and she wore 70s headbands.
Oh, it's your
so
mom?
In the 70s,
Oh,
she
your
looked
mom's
like
cool.
Everyone thought she was Native American.
I have a little Choctaw Indian in my background.
She looked like an Indian woman. She looked
Oh
like,
Lord.
I mean, like straight off the prairie.
They talk about the cheekbones and
Yeah, you do have high cheekbone.
yeah.
She always had long black hair, and so that's Indian hair.
But I've long been suspicious of these stories. How could so few Native Americans sleep with so many African slaves? Tina grew up believing that two of her grandparents were part Native American.
But you're only 1% Native American. You know how your family...
You're only 1% Native American. There we go. Thank you, Donnie. That was a hot comb. That's not natural Native American hair. That's a hot comb and a perm. And just for me. And guys, who was the black lady, the first black millionaire that was selling the hair care products? What was her name? Guys? That was selling the hair care products. The black lady. She was a millionaire. And she was selling the hair care products. Madam CJ Walker. There we go. That's the Madam CJ Walker kit in your hair. Okay. Your grandma had the Madam CJ Walker kit in her hair. It was claimed to be a Native American. That's what that is. Let's continue. 1%er. Let's continue.
Family has always thought that you had all this Native American heritage.
Yes.
It was white heritage that you had.
All this time, I've been thinking Indian. I was dying to find out what tribe it was.
You're from the tribe of Europe.
You are from the tribe of Europe. You were from the tribe of Europe. And I'll pull up my DNA test in a minute. Yes, emoji. That's Dax hair grease, hot comb, and the Madam CJ Walker kit that y'all using to claim to be Native American. But it ain't Native American. It's European. You're white. You're white. And Tyron, you're more than welcome to call in, but bring your DNA tests up. I'll show you my DNA test, but y'all scared of DNA tests. I wonder why. I wonder why. Bring it, Tyra. Bring your DNA test up. That's all I'm asking. Bring your DNA test up. I'll show you mine. Because when you bring up the DNA test, you're gonna look like a deer headlights, like Tina Turner. Man, my grandmama said I was a Native American. My grandmama said I was a Native American. Nah, because we got straight hair. Nah, that's that Madam CJ Walker pack. That's that Madam CJ Walker pack that your grandma had in her hair in a hot comb. You're not the Cherokee. You're not the Chickasaw. You're not the Seminole. You're about 80% African. Well, yeah, you're about 80% African. 15%, no, about 15 to 18% European, and 1 to 2% Indian. All right. And y'all over exaggerate on the Indian part. That's the thing. Your grandma was lying the whole time. I'm sorry. Your great grandma was lying the whole time. I apologize. I'm sorry. It happens. Let's continue. Yeah, right. That's what we're gonna right. Pull the DNA test up so we can laugh at you. Pull the DNA test up so we can laugh at you.
Wow.
And I'm 3% Native American. So I got just a little Indian.
Right, you're 3% Native American, just a little. And y'all taking it and run with it. I don't know what the obsession is with wanting to be Native American, but y'all taking it and running with it and then getting embarrassed.
Got a little Indian in you. 0% Native American and 0% Native American.
Go.
And 0% who were Native American.
We're gonna have to tell the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma now. I misrepresented myself. I'm not Choctaw at all, you know.
And you'll see there's no figure for Native American because you ain't got no Native American.
Set the record straight.
Even Don Cheadle, who we would expect to have some Native American ancestry because of the connection to the Chickasaw, members of your family owned by Native Americans. But we don't find any.
Wow.
And you're not alone in not having any measurable Native American ancestry. 1 in about every 20 African Americans only 1 in 20 has any significant amount of Native American ancestry.
So apocryphal. Yeah. No. Turns out they didn't really dig you that much.
Yeah. Let me pull up my results real quick. Here are my results. Hold on. Let me pull up the whole. Let me hold on. Here we go. Hopefully you guys can see this. Here are my results. And I have 1% Indigenous Americans for Bolivia and Peru. So now I'm going to run around saying I'm the original Peruvians. I am the original Peruvians. So here are my results. Nigerian, Cameroonian. As far as European, let's say 5%, 9%, 11%. So 12% European, 77% African, and then we got the 1% from Peru. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm Peruvian. So I'm the original Peruvian. All right, I'll put the link in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Link is in the chat room. Casanova, go ahead. Cash, you got to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me, Dennis?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Peace. So, we back on the topic. The pretendians strike again. I always leveraged the idea that we had more white or European admixture in us.
We always did. Yeah.
Yeah, just as like a result of our history, we had more contact with those people. They literally watched over us, opposed to Native Americans. The 5 civilized tribes are the 5 Native American groups that most Negroes, well, most pretendians claim that they are part of: the Cherokee, the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Creek, the Seminole, and I'm forgetting one more. Choctaw, Chickasaw, Creek, Seminole. It's one more. I forgot what it is.
I forgot to.
But you usually hear people say, I'm Cherokee. Every now and then you'll hear a Negro say, I'm Choctaw. You'll never hear nobody say Chickasaw. You'll never hear nobody say Seminole.
They be claiming all of them. They be claiming all of them.
Like I had one dude say he Blackfoot Indian, and I looked down. And I looked down and I saw that his feet was black.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, that's why you think you're a Blackfoot Indian, because your feet black.
Right.
So yeah, you just can't take these people serious. Like, they want to cherry pick the information.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't want DNA results. However, y'all want to say, well, what did Christopher Columbus write in his diary when he first came over here? It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Right. And he wrote that, well, he called the people he saw Indians. So what does that tell you? He didn't call them Negroes or African or Ethiopians. He called them Indians.
You know what Negroes will say? Well, Indian mean indigo, which means black.
Yeah, go ahead, Johnny.
No, I disagree, man. I'm kind of trying to hear what the clown show is going to look like today from these guys, man. You keep bringing the facts. I guarantee you, bro's not going to show his ancestry test. He's going to try to allude to it if he even did take one. I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point, bro. Like, it's crazy because, like you said, man, they're going to have to ignore the vast majority of their DNA to try to claim on to something else that's not even there.
Well, they'll say the DNA is fake. They say it's a scam. That's what they will say.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's ways that you can prove that if it's really a scam or whatever, but they ain't even going to be able to do that. So, I mean, like, it's just ridiculous all around, man. You know, people literally go to jail based off of DNA tests. You know what I'm saying? People get tied
and get exonerated.
And exonerated from prison, exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, if it's good enough for the legal system to literally throw away somebody's life or have them removed from crazy ass, you know, murders and other things people have been accused of that you've been exonerated from DNA evidence, how's it not good enough to tell you, okay, well, this was what it says about you? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense, man. It just keeps moving the goalposts, and it's just ridiculous at this point.
Right. Go ahead, Free Game. I'm just so Free Game.
So I guess that the Native Americans, they native to Siberia in America. I guess that's that. I guess they've been around 100,000 years. You know, even though it's not proven, even though it's proven that they are from Siberia.
You know what his argument is really saying? This is like the people who
Hold on. Let me finish. I ain't butt in when you was talking.
Go ahead, bro.
I guess the Native Americans are just the only people that ever came to America. I've never seen a group of people that's indigenous to two places at the same time. Where did these people originate from? Did they originate from America or Siberia? Which one? Because they sure look like Asians to me. And if Christopher Columbus came over here and he discovered America, he so-called discovered America, you don't think nobody else got to sail over here?
The Native Americans came over. They came over on the Bering Land Bridge through Siberia, like you just said.
Okay, so you think they're the only person ever came in?
Negative. No.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're not the only people to make it to the Americas.
I'm not saying that we Indian. I'm saying that my argument is Africans been in America. I did not say that we was Indian. Never said it. I don't think we Indian at all. I said that I think Africans been in America, just like everybody else.
So you don't deny your African ancestry?
No.
All right. Yeah.
No, that would be
We ain't
stupid.
talking to you, bro. We
I'll
ain't
let
talking
him
to you,
off the
Free
hook.
Game.
Well, free game, but you say you don't believe that slave ships ever came.
No, I don't believe slave ship came like people say there are.
All right, yeah, you back on the hook now.
Now, what
No.
evidence do you
I
Nah, you
think
about to
people
get it,
was
bro.
here already.
Yeah,
I
you
think
about to get
people
it,
was
bro.
here already. People will be dead dying this. Like they would die halfway.
There are a
You
lot,
know how?
bro.
Hold
There are
on.
millions of people that died on that passage, dude. Like you
But
ignoring that. It's kind of
this
like
the
you
thing that
spitting on our ancestors doing that too.
this what I'm telling y'all. Do y'all know how small those ships was?
I don't think
So
you
They
know
was
how big they were.
they wasn't big at all.
Big and small is subjective.
What does that even have to do with
Like
anything? It wasn't big enough to carry
you
hundreds of
couldn't
people.
fit 300 people on that ship.
It
Okay,
may
Small.
seem impossible, but the people were treated like cargo. You see, it wasn't much space.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
if they
what
ran out of food rations for these slaves, a lot of them got thrown off.
what my claim is that African people came to America long before America was identified as America.
We were,
That's my claim.
and what I'm saying is those the alleged Africans that were here that were allegedly here so far in between that they would have been absorbed by the Native Americans that came over the strait.
Facts.
That's just it. Like that's
Yeah.
why it's not
Okay.
even.
What
That's why it's not even worth like even claiming or arguing because there's no archaeological proof that we were here, but there's archaeological proof about the Native Americans that we call Native Americans today. They're crossing and populating the Americans. That's why the argument is just a wasted argument.
Dinus, the Native Americans are damn near extinct now. Like
Yeah, they got wiped. They got wiped out.
damn, Dinus, you can't
They got
populate in 100 years.
they got wiped
Damn.
out. There's brief free game. There's a documentary called Guns, Germs, and Steel that goes into detail about all of this. The Native Americans got wiped out. In fact, the Europeans at first enslaved the Native Americans. They couldn't handle the work, the load. Then they passed. Let me finish. Don't interrupt me.
Are
Then
you
they
open for an open debate panel?
yeah, don't interrupt me. Finish. So they passed away, and then they start bringing in Africans
Are you
to
sure
do
you
the
want to
work.
die on this African hill?
So
The
what
European,
you're telling me is, Dinus, these people died in North America, South America, Mexico. All you telling me that
By
they
the
died
millions.
everywhere?
By the
Hold
by the millions, yes.
hold on.
It's
By a
documented.
European group
Mr.
that had
Diseases killed
sailed
most
here.
of them.
Documented. It's
Diseases
documented.
killed most of them.
Diseases, the labor killed them, and it's called again. The documentary free game is called Guns, Germs, and Steel, and they go in detail about what happened. And so, since the Native Americans could not handle the workload, they started importing Africans.
Not just that, Dinus. Let me add on to it. Whenever a Native American would run away, oh, you wasn't catching him.
And
But
let
an
me add on to
African run
that.
away over here, he don't know where he going. You can catch him.
Yeah, exactly. And let me add on to that and say
That's
too,
false.
because these people
many
were not used to.
Negroes knew the
Bro,
land.
hold on, bro.
So again, this is pseudo history.
Go ahead, motherfucker. Go ahead.
Hey, Don, you got your DNA test?
Bro, he ain't gonna show that. Come on.
Yes, I do. But are you willing to
Are you gonna
debate
show us
me?
the DNA
Show
test?
your
Live
DNA
debate
test.
panel.
Are you gonna show us it since you
Show
said you
your
have
DNA test.
Are you willing to debate me?
Tyron just look.
Just
He
show
Show
just
your
I
looked at
will.
DNA
us to
test.
talk to.
Are you
Okay,
willing
pull it
to
up.
debate me?
Yeah, but pull your DNA test up. Let's
Are
start
you
there.
willing to debate me on a professional setting?
If you pull up your DNA test,
Yeah, we pull up your DNA test.
Yes,
Let's
I
start there.
will. Are you
Okay,
willing
go
to
ahead.
debate me though?
he just said yeah.
Are you
Pull up
willing
your
to
DNA
debate?
test. We're going to start with your DNA test. That's where we're starting. Go ahead.
No, for one, this is not a proper debate. Do you want to set up a debate? We're not going off the hip. We want your sources. We
If
want
you are willing to share your DNA
everything,
test,
bro.
bro,
No,
that's the first
so
step.
Tyron, this is
No
where
interruptions. It's me and you in the ring.
no, hold on, Tyron. If you're not willing to show your DNA test, I'm not
Yes,
going to
I
debate.
am. I told you
Okay,
I
so
am. Are you
show it
willing to
now.
get into the debate league?
So pull it up.
Are you willing to get into a debate league? Yes or no?
If you're not gonna lead with your DNA test, the answer is no.
I will. Are you willing to get into the ring?
If you're not going to lead with your DNA test, the answer is no.
Why are we fleeing from a debate?
Why are you fleeing from showing your DNA test?
I will show you my. I told you I will get
Then
into
do
the
it.
ring with you on DNA. Are you willing to take that debate?
If you lead with your DNA test, yes, I will.
Hello?
I said if you're willing.
Are you willing to get into a debate league?
Let me read these super chats. Donnie Williams, thank you for the $5 holla. Got him, Dinus. KJ, thank you for the $4.99 holla. Laugh out loud. Grandma was a pathological liar. Carl Johnson, thank you for the $10 holla. You should start asking these Jeep Cherokee Hebrews if they finish high school or middle school. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Tyron. Okay. Go ahead, free game.
Are you willing to get into a debate league? Yes or no?
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not.
Dinus,
Go ahead.
I clearly showed you the other day. I showed y'all the other day.
There goes your integrity because I already provided sources to you last night, which you were afraid to show. I even tagged you into what I was talking about.
I'm not entertaining you. I'm not. In fact, Tyron, this is what I'll do. This is
again.
I'm gonna. You're not gonna
challenge the Aborigines. Are you afraid to get in the ring?
You're not gonna overtalk me. So, Tyron, I will pay out of my own pocket for your ancestry.com DNA test. All right. Then we could take it from there. I'll pay for it out of pocket.
Damn,
I've seen your
Dinus.
integrity and its cowardice because I've shown sources.
You haven't shown your DNA test, bro.
You asked me multiple questions, and then you didn't allow me to further elaborate on Aborigines.
I'm not. Tyron, listen, Tyron. So this is what I'm gonna do.
So
I'm gonna remove you from the panel.
Willing
come
to
back
get into a
DNA test. Tyron, I'm gonna remove you from the panel. Come back with your DNA test, and then we could talk. I'm not doing this. Go ahead, free game.
Man, good shit, Dinus.
Dinus, I showed to you the other day that my ancestors, a certain sect of my ancestors, they wasn't African. They didn't look nothing like Africans. I showed you that. Showed you proof. I can show you other proof where my other granddad. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
No, free game. Just show me pictures. Just show me pictures.
What is
yes, these people. You can tell these people weren't African, Dinus. You can tell them.
You just showed me a picture.
Come on now. Yes, those are my ancestors. Yes, that's what I mean.
You just show me pictures. But here we go. Here we go. Free game. Do you have a DNA test? Free game. Do you have a DNA test?
Yeah. I got a DNA. Yeah, I got a DNA test.
Pull it up.
Oh, hold on.
Could I get on?
Well, I don't know. How could I share my screen? I don't know how to do that.
Well, just click present.
Oh, let's see. Hold on. I could just tell you what my
Nah. Click the present button. And which provider did you use? Which provider did you use?
I use Ancestry.
Okay, yeah. There we go. Click the present button.
Present. Okay, hold on. I don't. It's not. I'm on my phone, so I don't know how to do it. I don't. I'm on my phone. Let me see. Hold on. But Dynas, I didn't tell you that that
Yeah, that you
uh.
cannot take, you cannot just show a picture and assume that they're not
But
African.
the
That's
DNA
not
is
how. That's
inconsistent.
not.
It's
That's not
inconsistent.
how. That's not how it works, dude. Send me your DNA
Okay,
test.
I'm gonna just be forthright, honest with you. I don't know how to present it, but this
No,
my
send it to
DNA.
me. Send it to me. No. Send it to me.
All right,
Send it
all
to me.
right, okay,
We're gonna pull it up. We're gonna pull it up. Email it to. I'll put my email in the chat. Email it to me. Send it to me. We're gonna pull it up.
all right.
I wanted to get on free game point that he tried to make about why Native Americans why Native American ancestry didn't populate. I was trying to make that earlier when he was talking about it. I want to cut him off. Bro, I was gonna say that's the same type of argument people make if you're talking to somebody about evolution and they tell you like, why is there still apes if evolution is real and there's humans? That right there that you're saying is the same type of argument. And the answer to
No,
that
it's
is,
not. That is not the same argument.
let me
That's
tell
the
you,
same. That's very
No,
I can
no.
no,
explain to you
that's not the same
I can
argument.
explain to you why it's the same, bro. Okay, because when people come from 15,000 to 30,000 years ago across the Bering Land Strait and they're isolated because the ice melts and they're in a specific area of land, they're gonna have a different genotype than people that are still evolving and coexisting and still basically they're still mingling with each other. I'm trying to think of the right word, but they're coexisting and everything. So they adapt differently than how they did than Native Americans did from that time period. And that's why when the Western world, the Eastern world came over to the Western world, they started to die off because they weren't used to the diseases and immune systems and bacteria and stuff that they had already been exposed to because they weren't used to trade and travel and stuff like they were from that coast. So that's why it's kind of the same, similar type argument. Okay, that's
My
that's
my
that's
my
that's why.
argument.
Go ahead, bro.
My argument is that if the Native Americans was wiped out on every single continent on this side of the world, no, every single country in on this side of the world,
But they weren't.
then
They're Amerindians in South America. What are you talking? They're still uncontacted tribes in Peru in South America,
And Brazil.
and
A lot
in
in
Brazil,
Brazil in the
all through
rainforest.
the Amazon for that matter. However, if you see these people, they look just like the Native Americans that you're talking about from the 1800s out there in the plains.
Yeah. So
I
they're kind.
emailed you guys.
Okay, I got him. I got it. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, I got it. Hold on. Let me hear the explaining for this one. Hold on, I got it.
Let's see this.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull this up. Here we go. All right, these are your DNA results.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get the tree like everybody else.
33% Nigeria. We're just gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop right there.
But all those are Africans. Every
Yeah,
country
we're gonna stop
It
right
looks just like
there.
yours, Doc.
They ain't nothing else to look at. Ain't nothing else to look at. We're gonna stop right there. Well, let
You
me
know
find
what
out.
though, bro? At
Yeah,
least
we're
he
gonna
did
just stop
deny it
right
though.
there. But hold on, but hold on. Give me the conspiracy theory free game. Give me the conspiracy theory.
It's no conspiracy theory. I didn't say that we was Native American. That has never been my argument. My argument is
You
I
said that we
said
ain't
that African
African.
people.
You said that we ain't African. You said your family ain't African.
No, what I'm saying by country, Diamonds. I'm not talking about as a race. We are African people by race.
Oh
not by country.
Africa's not
So
a country.
where's the disconnect from you and Africa, bro?
No,
That's what
Nigerian or content. I wasn't born in Africa, so I can't say that I'm African.
Bro,
so you saying
I would have
culturally
to
you're not
say
African?
this dude is trolling, y'all.
culturally, yes. I'm not culturally. I'm not African.
Okay, but you get how.
But and you know, race.
But,
Yes, yes. I'm
Bro, you
saying
got
that people for being in America. That's what I said.
free game. You got Nigerian woodlands. Like you was a bush baby.
Yeah, but
I mean, you a bush baby. There's nothing wrong with that. You more bush than me. You got Nigerian woodlands. You are more bush than me.
yeah, bro. This is wild.
I mean, come on, man. Come on, bro. You are a fool. You are a bush baby.
Yeah, bro.
I mean,
You
come
literally.
on.
Hey, you call it a bush baby, bro.
Nigerian woodlands.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what the rest of it is, bro. But yeah, this is wild.
No, I'm light skinned, but I have very little European in my family.
We know.
Bro, I wonder if you have any Indian at all, though. Like
well, I can't.
But seriously, my grandfather he mixed in with Indians. My grandfather he went to Oklahoma he had to live on a reservation, and he went to Louisiana after that. Like seriously. But I don't think I don't like that people say that we Native American. I just don't. We look nothing like them. Like we may mix in with them every once in a while, but I don't have the same ideology. Oh yeah, we Native American. No, I don't believe that.
But
man, we ain't mixed in with no Native Americans. They raped us like white folks did.
I don't.
Well, yeah. Well, I showed the records that my family was owned by Native Americans. I showed on the panel the other day. Yes, so yeah, it was some raping going on, but you know.
Hey, let me pass it to General Dave. Go ahead, General Dave.
I think, and don't step all over because I kind of listen. I'm like, all right, people got their fault lines, but I think that two things can be true at the same time. And what I'm looking at is it's really, if we assume that Africans traveled over to America, what makes us assume that the people in America weren't traveling over to Africa too? And the people that this is how I see it. I don't want to get into my full theory or whatever, but my whole thing is I call myself a Negro and I go under African American. I accept the African American because I do believe that the Negro was mainly here in America and some were in Africa.
Some, huh? Mainly in America and some in Africa.
Yeah. Hold on. Because I don't know when, I don't know why, but everybody assumes I kind of like this area, this sort of the space, because everybody else assumes that the first time that the peoples from the eastern side of the Atlantic had contact with the western side of the Atlantic was when, you know, the slave trade in America was invaded. And I don't believe that. So I like to listen to this part because at least there's some acceptance that, yeah, people were going back and forth. Now, even though y'all believe it's kind of one way where only Africans went over to the Americas, I kind of lean it towards both ways to where it was a back and forth things across both coasts of the Atlantic. And I think this is because I don't believe what America says about history a lot unless they can fully prove it. What I believe is something happened between the relations between both coasts, and whoever was left on the African coast, the Negroes in Africa, was who were rounded up for slavery. And once they ran out of Negroes to catch, the European tried to turn on the African. African was like, what the hell you think? What are you trying to do? Let me just burn down this infrastructure and voila, we're not going to enslave Africans. And I base this because y'all got a history for thousands of years, right? A whole thousand. You can trace this lineage. But somehow nobody can mention the cousin that was taken in slavery. Not even for trillions of dollars can anybody come up with this name. And the only feasible way that can happen is through war that weren't your people. Because that name would only live on for maybe one generation. Like granddad to say, yo, remember so-and-so we captured and say, wah, 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 wah. But if they were actually African, there would be another family on the other side that said, man, I remember when they captured so-and-so.
They say that. Hold on. They say that. Hold on. They say that. Hold on. Go continue. I'm gonna pull something up for you.
And so for me, it's.
I want to add on to that, dynasty, if you mind. Queen and Zinga.
Well, let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead. Let me pull
and so for me, when I went down that road and just said, let me erase, not even erase, but let me try to conceive what was happening, because they don't talk about anything that was going on before slavery involving the African really or the Negro, unless you see just any type of relationship, right? So from what I can conceive is everybody was island hopping the north from like Eastern Seaboard USA, Newfoundland, Greenland, Iceland, into Great Britain, down Great Britain, the Channel, Iberian Peninsula, Gibraltar, Morocco, and then down, and then back and forth. So in my head, I kind of think that there was an alliance between what I call Negro and the African.
Well, let me play this real quick. This answers your question. Let me play this real quick.
Hey, all right, have a good.
You understand? Anyway, they are doing like this for you.
Yeah, because they pray outside. They are
man,
like,
you made them proud wherever. Yeah. This is what you're doing.
I'm proud of.
Oh, thank you. You understand? And the more you stay here, the better. And the more you bring the people, the better. Like you've seen me right now, I keep showing me myself for free of charge. I did the many where are they? I see them. Our own people.
So guys, this is me in Nigeria. All right, in Lagos. Let me continue.
Bro, see, he says, "Oh, you come, and picking." That will never happen again, man. Man, take that shit. Take that sea, the ocean, cross to the other side so people drown. Right. And walk like slaves in plantation and whatever. No social media, nobody know about it. Not even a letter writing, man.
That they lost more slaves.
That they brought.
They lost more slaves.
I grew up. You know how I knew about it?
So this is a Yoruba lady and this is an Igbo man. The Yoruba lady just said they lost more slaves than they brought to America. And this is the Igbo man story, how he knew about slavery.
This before I even left. I went to holiday in my Enugu. I was little, maybe 8 years old boy. With 505, my father, everybody. When 120 years old Moses in my village, the oldest man, he refused to die. He's waiting for his brother, his big brother,
to come back.
Last slave.
To come back.
Who is, if I keep telling you this, I will start crying, man. I've never heard of something like this. Man is smelling.
Now.
He's dead long ago, but when I was 8, this is how I know about this slavery. Moses, 120, 30, they can't even say his age. He's waiting for his brother.
Yes, I mean.
Where is called Alabama? Is it a state or is it your Alabama? This is the first time I heard about that. Maybe the guy was the last slave people or his brother, whatever, or very, very muscular somebody.
Well, Cujo Lewis was the last slave, but he went to Alabama, but he was shipped out of Benin Republic.
That means the last slave people went to Alabama, right?
Right.
Because this Moses keeps saying that his brother is in Alabama, he says he's coming back. That he's waiting for him.
There was no code there.
There is a place called Alabama. Yes, now I don't know where is Alabama, now I don't know.
Okay, so again, I hear stories like countless stories like this whenever I go to Africa.
Okay, why ain't y'all coming up? Like, honestly, if that's the case, because everybody's tired of it, it's literally trillions on the line here. As a representative Negro, can y'all come up with some damn names so we can get the money going, dog? Because the way I'm seeing it, I'm just finishing it. This is how I see it, and a lot of brothers in America see it. They see it as, yeah, we see this back in. One side says, hey, Africans came to America. I believe that there was travel, across the globe before, ancient forever. You know what I'm saying? But what we don't believe is that nobody went over there from over here.
You don't believe in none of the.
I got a question.
Hold on.
I'm asking, bro.
Hold on, just one
Where
second.
are the shipbuilding Native Americans at in North, Central, or South America?
The shipbuilding?
Yeah, shipbuilding. We had ones that built canoes, like the Taino.
Yeah, like canoes and all of that.
Ships to cross an ocean.
Oh, let me get to that. Right. So here's what I said. Here's what I had to get to. I had to get to certain things, right? So this is just what I think and what I believe, right? I do believe that people were going back and forth. People were going back and forth. I honestly believe that. So I love when people be saying, yeah, Africans came over here. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Why were people, you believe they were going back and forth? Why were they going back and forth? For what reason?
Trade.
What are they trading?
Like the same reasons we do shit now.
Okay, what are they trading though?
They trade food.
Food. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we get some.
Oh, whatever you want to call it.
We get it somewhere. What kind of food did they trade now?
I have no idea.
We got records. We got records of food. We got records of what. We got records of what food originated in America and how it got over to Africa. And we got record of what food originated in Africa and Asia and how it got over to America. We got records of that.
Okay. Right. Okay, right. So we're agreeing with that. Right. Now, for me, I read like all these other different things, like France have all these statues and they be like, the tobacco Indians and shit, all type of other shit. I ain't gotta explain it, but all the different channels that tell you all this other stuff. Hey, here's how they look, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. You know what I'm saying? They look like some damn Negroes in America, right? And so in my head, I figured that eventually I call it the Negro, whoever's on this side and whoever's on this side of the Atlantic, they eventually said, hey, let's have an alliance, because I just see evidence of whether people debate whether they're African, Negro, or whatever, I just see evidence lining both shores of the Atlantic, up and down, right? And somewhere I think that shit fell apart. I think it fell apart. And when it fell apart, the Negroes that were trapped in Africa, and this is where this is the whole reason why I say this, because I'm tired of Africans having to deal with this burden of they enslaved their own people and they shit.
Did you say trap?
And I don't believe that. I believe that Africa liberated their lands from the Negro Empire. That's what I believe.
Here we go.
I believe that the Africans, once this war kicked off between these two sides, this side of the Negro that was trapped on your African side, I know how Negroes are. You know what I'm saying? We did a lot of good, and I think, there was some bad along with it, and we were balling all this other type of shit. And I think that shit fell apart, and the ones that were trapped on the African side, was shipped, like slavery, to the invaded homeland. I think the slave ship, what you're talking about, I think they were true. I think if you want to find a slave ship,
so Negroes and Africans are different.
Yeah.
All right.
Like as far as I think there was an empire here in America before invasion.
Are you basing it off anything, or like you just have a feeling?
Well, I'm basing it off of all of these. They keep talking about all these dang on different tribes and how big they were. It was literally like if you got to kill 100 million people to even conquer land, and you still got a lot left over. That's a lot of people. Those were empires, and
most of those people died from diseases. They didn't kill them. Most of them died from diseases.
Well, however you want to call it, they did.
Yeah, well, they didn't kill them. That's what I'm saying. Like most of them.
Buffalo, they killed everything they needed to survive. So yeah, they died.
Yeah, later on, the buffalo that wasn't until like the 1800s.
What they get the buffalo being wiped out, or yeah. So what my whole thing is the biggest problem I got, and it's hard to even stop it, because to stop it you would have to say, look, we didn't enslave Africans, we didn't enslave ourselves, we not subhuman, all this shit that people want to talk about. I see it more as when I look at it. Once they ran out of Negroes to catch, that shit got shut down. Because it took the collaboration of the African and the European to even do the slave.
So what do you see?
And they had a common enemy.
What do you see different from an African and a Negro? Like, what do you draw that distinction between the two?
Well, that distinction, I draw it from. I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth before I get into all the other shit that's gonna make y'all laugh. I'm gonna start with the intuitive shit. I grew up thinking all of the old African, but everything led to nothing. And like, if you really go
tell us what's the distinction between Negro and African, bro? Like, we don't want to hear.
I don't think we're African.
No, let him talk. Let him talk. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
I know it's weird. But I wouldn't think that way if the African was like, yo, them Native Americans, they was us. Not the Native Americans, because you got that group of Native Americans, whatever you want to call it. But them Negroes that you saw in all of this history and shit here in America, that was us. But instead what's going on is oh no, that don't exist, man. That's this. Ignore all of this other shit that you see. And, that's what I don't get. And so with that disconnect, it's being told to me, like for real. If let's flip it. If let's just call American Negro, right? If way back when in America we sold the Negro over to Africa, and that Negro grew up, all that other type of shit, in the same position we are right now, boom, all that other type of shit. And the monetary value, I would be sitting here on this side saying, yo, y'all got passports, you can get your dual citizenship.
Bro, let me ask you
reparations.
Again, like,
we get reparations, we get all that shit. But I don't see that. All I see is, and what I don't see is I need an old person, because I firmly believe that if y'all brought old motherfuckers and said, yo, what do you think about all them Black Americans coming back here? I think that the reaction to that would be your answer, because I'm
Dave,
I don't feel African. I don't feel like.
So
but I don't blame it.
Bro, is it the language? Is it something about the look?
Because of some
skin color? Is it the hair? Like,
how do you feel African? How does it feel to be like? How does it feel?
What I'm saying, here's what I'm saying, right? I would feel African if they were Africans saying, yo, no problem, streamline, dual citizenship.
Dave, let me stop you. So I've been taking people to Sierra Leone for the past 5 years to get their citizenship. So I don't.
For a decade, man. I've been watching you for so long. I didn't see me.
Okay. So what are you talking about, Dave?
No,
take a
but
DNA test.
you're in the. I'm talking about from a country level.
That's a country. Sierra Leone's a country.
But the government, you're a person.
No, what do you mean I'm a person? I've been taking people
okay, let's
over.
put it like this. Who's offering me dual citizenship?
Have you took a DNA test yet? Have you took a DNA test yet?
No.
Dave. Okay, take a DNA test with African ancestry. Also do ancestry.com. When you get your results, holla at me.
Okay, but who's offering dual citizenship?
Bro,
I just gave it an answer. Dave, listen, listen. This is my Sierra Leone passport. All right. I took a DNA test with African ancestry. Results came back Sierra Leone. I was able to get my passport.
Okay, so all I need to do is take a DNA test.
Take a DNA test, get your results. I would say do African ancestry because it's black owned, and do ancestry.com. And then come holler at me, and then
So you're saying if you come back African and with the so-called African DNA, you can automatically get dual citizenship?
If it's Sierra Leonean, yes. Guinea-Bissau, they just launched their program. Two people got there. It's Guinea-Bissau. Burkina Faso, we'll find out what happens with that here in June. And Benin Republic just rolled out a program, but I don't know anybody that has gotten theirs yet. So
now I noticed that Pan-Africanist plus the FBA dictator, I noticed that he keeps calling for
who's the FBA dictator?
That's Tariq Nasheed. He says he's not the leader, but he's the dictator, though. That's for damn sure. So he keeps asking for dual citizenship from African countries. Do you know why he wants that so desperately? Is it because he's got some schemes that he hopes that he can hide out?
And I can tell you my main reason.
I can't speak for Tariq Nasheed.
Here's my biggest problem. I'm tired of having to be a Black American and being linked to Africa. And they saying, oh, it ain't shit happening. This, that, and the other. I just want the bank where I can invest and buy national bonds. Like I want Nigerian national bonds. And I've been watching Nigeria. They're good. They floated some US dollar and everything like that. Because I want to say, hey, all right, give me my rate of return on just interest. Y'all go ahead and perk and do all your equity, all that shit. That's what it's really about. I'm tired of this damn argument, in all honesty. Because if ain't nobody investing and putting money together, what the hell is this argument about?
Okay, so African ancestry is all about money.
Investment, yes. Like Black America is the richest. Like if you just took Black Americans and said, all right, they're group them together on a chart, we'd be like G10. Why isn't there like a bond fund? Like how am I able to use my 401k and invest in everything I want? Except anything on the buying level to loan some money to some dang on average. Why can't I loan $50 to y'all for 5% interest or 4%, whatever the hell the going rate is?
Oh well, sounds like you got to start up a bank.
No, we need for. This is what I need, and this is all I ask is like after every argument between your African Negro or whatever it is. Whatever countries y'all home down, I know Dynasty Mill gonna figure this out. Man, just have a whole show or whatever. Eventually, just tell us the bank that a Black American can deposit money into and then go buy the national bond.
Okay.
That's all we need to do. We'll take it, man. I swear to God, we'll take it. We'll take it off from that.
I'll be honest with you; these African governments aren't stable enough for you to invest your money in. Be honest with you.
You got to be careful and do your research.
Just because we can't say, "Oh, everybody's poor. We ain't got no money." But that's the only Pan-African I want. I ain't gonna even lie, because it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
You don't want to marry African women either,
huh?
You don't want to marry African women?
Man, I already been married, bro. You ain't. It's gonna take.
But saying so you don't want to. Okay, do you want to have kids with African women?
I got kids. Boy, I ain't been through it, man. So
you don't want. I
got an ex-wife, so that'll take.
Okay, so you one of those guys that don't want the actual Nubian queen.
Hey, let me back to the set two, man. Go ahead, set two. Go ahead, set
I
two.
don't know if he heard what I said.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Before, man, you can't fool me with that shit.
Go ahead, set two.
Thank you so much. May God's peace and mercy be upon everybody. And thank you, Dennis. I like this debate and also the question that are coming, and also like the wavelength right now. And General Dave, I'm from Senegal, West Africa, born and raised, and uh, respect all Black people all around the world, and want to connect, like genuinely connect with my Black brothers and sisters, because like I believe I've been invested by ancestors to connect with, genuinely connect with brothers all around the world that have been separated from our families, like genuinely. That's why I call myself Sotumam. Sotumam is a Wolof. Sot is like grandson in Wolof. Wolof is a indigenous West African language, because all people from Senegal speaks Wolof regardless of their ethnic groups. And Wolof can be traced far long until like the South Sudan, and even in Egyptian speaking like language dialects, you have some Wolof words that trace back to Senegal, West Africa. So it's deep and it's very powerful, and we believe that we have to connect as Black people wherever we are around the world to unite. And
don't you think you should start in Africa first, though?
I'm sorry,
Bro.
Antoine. You have to listen to what I'm saying. Just
Yeah.
like let me finish, and then after you can say whatever you want to say. Free game. You said you were not African because you were not born in Africa. All I got to say is you don't have to be born in Africa to be African. Africa is born to every melanated people around the world, and it's very true. So the other thing I want to add is this unity. Follow Dinah's like videos and moves in Africa. People on the continent are looking forward to connect, like genuinely, because we feel like families. We feel like families have been separated, like truly. It's not whatever they say online that this happened and that happened. We have so much love for Black people all around the world. I'm not just talking about African Americans. Yes, African Americans start coming to the continent not too long ago. It was rare to see an African American in Senegal. It was a blessing to see them, I swear to God. And that's what I want to say on that side. And we are looking forward to connect to Africans in like wherever they are, Suriname, in the South America, all that, because we feel connected. We feel truly connected, and we have to unite. We have to make sure we protect ourselves. The world is changing, like things are getting like to a level where they're bringing back the same hatreds that been like dividing us and all that, and we don't want that to happen. So yes, thank you, Dinah's, for what you are doing, helping people travel, at least discover, at least just come to visit once and then get to know people and how they feel. That's what I will end with. Thank you.
Okay. Now, when you said same hatreds, you mean like the same hatreds like you see in Sudan and South Sudan, where they both countries couldn't get along as one country, then they split. They both going to war with each other.
Dennis, this guy is trolling, and I've been following him.
It's trolling, but it's real.
He's trolling to the point where he was.
He can't help it, man. He can't help it.
It's a real.
He just brought up the whole talk of
those are real. Those are real events, but somehow I'm trolling, huh?
Yeah, you are trolling.
But that's why I said I'm not looking. That's why I don't look for no unite around the world unification. I'm literally just tired of people saying that Africans can't do it. That's hurting me over in Black America, all the way across the ocean. And I just want to say, I believe in you. I'm investing not to take your equity. I just want a loan on the buying level and do your thing in perk. Because I believe, I honestly think we didn't already tried that unite. I honestly think that's what Black came from, the unification of Negro and Africa to control both sides of the land. I think we've already been down that path, but for me, this may sound selfish, but Black American ain't gonna be able to get to where they gonna need to be without Africa rising where they need to be.
That's not true.
Not even.
That's not
I'm
true.
saying from.
The
But
truth
look,
is this, bro.
as a
The
Black
truth is this,
American,
bro.
every time anything says, they say when we get to some real geopolitical talk, they always say, "Oh well, look at Africa. Look, I'm tired of hearing that shit."
That's not
So
that's
I'm
not how
ready
it
to
goes,
say,
bro.
you know what?
Bro,
Let's put some money
you
over
literally
there.
were talking about geopolitical
I'm
position
trying to own your
of
shit.
African
Hey,
American.
Johnny, you trolling right now because my man said from his perspective, not yours.
Your
And
perspective
boom,
doesn't matter
y'all
when
do
we're
what
talking
y'all do.
geopolitics.
I'm gonna
That's a
honor your
fact.
father
Those are
name
facts.
now. I ain't you ain't us. I'm gonna honor your father name. I'm gonna honor your mother name. I know how I feel when it's 7 names. I ain't finna do all that shit again. Nope. This shit is strictly, I want to see you rise, do your thing. I want to invest and not own your shit. I want to increase trade, because the more and more African Americans that are saying, yo, we on this bond level shit and buying some bonds, that's literally stabilizing interest rates for those currencies.
Dennis, I did want to look into starting like a retirement plan, like for African older people. You know, like how their daughters and shit got to help them out as they get up. I think they do need a 401k or retirement, some type of insurance. You know.
They have that.
Well, I mean, it has to start with their governments. Most of the
They
governments
have
are
that.
unstable.
We have it here too.
And you know, that's the reason why you can't depend on African economies, because the governments are largely unstable. One minute everything is cool, next minute you got a Sudanese type situation. Looks like
That's not
Rwanda.
what the powerhouses like Nigeria ain't gonna be like that. That's
What
the
do you mean? They've been
Do
having wars.
your research.
Nigeria's been having wars and terrorist attacks.
Yeah. I know that, but with a total collapse of government, you ain't finna have no Biafra war.
I don't think Black America I'm pro us, but we the same way, bro. We do it. Us and Africans do stuff very similar. Like we both do it.
So all I want to say, just to piggyback on what General Dave was talking about, is that we back in the continent, we've been like all the problem that you see. Yes, it's true, Alcoan. There's like leadership problems, and most of that is due to some people being like used by Western like civilizations, like France, for example, as far as we're concerned.
Sudan is in the Arab League.
Yeah, so like all I'm saying is colonizations and leadership problems, like people not like doing it for the people but for their own good and for their own pocket.
Vietnam
been happening. Listen
Vietnam
to
was
colonized. You got. I got some very important stuff to say.
Shut me up, motherfucker.
I got some very important stuff
bro,
to say.
I put
and
money on it, bro. You name that.
I'll put money on it too.
Where you from, bro?
Hey, y'all, listen. Let Setu finish. I mean, come on, y'all.
Donnie, I'm trying to make some money, bro. That's an easy.
No, Johnny, y'all handle that after the show. You know, whatever y'all got to do. Go ahead, Setu.
All right, so General Dave, yes, there's a leadership problem that's been happening, but change is happening right now as I'm talking to you. And diners can witness there's like a lot of change happening on the Sahara region, West Africa. There's a lot of change happening, and young people have been looking for this for a long time. We've been fed up since we were like very young, like seeing how we can't fucking succeed in our own country.
What is your opinion on ECOWAS?
I'm gonna tell you ECOWAS, like ECOWAS and everything that's going on. Just let me just follow my thought process.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I want to say is like just to sum up, because it's gonna be a story for another day. But looking for investment, like people, we've been waiting for like African to come back and to unite. And we've been waiting, and we were not sitting and waiting. We were working on the background, working between young people, like raising awareness, being part of like politics, government and everything, trying to make sure everything is straight so that our people, when they come back, we were waiting, but we were acting at the same time. So like we were making sure that the like land is secure so that we're not gonna be like again colonize or all that. We are trying to make sure that that's right. And we've been working to make sure also people that are undocumented, because the colonization system was not allowing people to have access to their rights. And shout out to the Black people in America that fought for civil rights that had impacted all around the world, everywhere that Black people is. So this is real. We gotta be in tune in the same fight that we fighting for, to unite, like whatever, conquer them crackers, because they hate
but what
us.
about
You know
the
what I'm
other what about the other colonization that's in Africa?
and right there in Senegal, just to tell you about real estate, people that was born and raised in America came and like bought land and live like in their own community. I'm just talking about Senegal. I'm not gonna give the exact location, but they have their own house,
Let them finish,
like
brother.
their own land. They build like communities where you see people from California, people from like North Carolina, but like living and like integrating the culture, like marrying each other and living a life, a beautiful life, a family, and that's right there. And it's also can be replicated in all West African countries. All that.
I'm a Black American man, and here's where everything kind of. This is why I'm kind of weary. Not from a hatred point of view. It's I know Black. You're literally asking for. Are you sure you want Black Americans in mass to come back? Because we're gonna damn to have an aircraft carrier with us.
You know my fight right now. You know my fight right now. You know one of my
pieces of us were there in the first.
Just to answer your question.
I don't know.
Just to answer your question. You
I
know
think there were Africans
one of my dearest.
And there were Negroes in Africa.
One of my deepest fight right now is to fight, and make sure that people that were incarcerated can have passport, because we believe people are not born bad. Like society has a lot of impact in the way they grew up, in the environment they are in. We believe, I'm telling you, if I were to get a lot of passport, I will help a lot of folks get that passport and come and
I'm
invest.
just telling you the sentiment on the ground from Black Americans. We not coming.
Come on. You know how big is Africa? You know how big is Africa, man?
Right, you gotta get Africans straight first and stop worrying about us, though.
Listen, I'm just telling you the sentiment on the ground from what I think Black America. You'll have a portion of Black Americans being dual citizen, everything like that, but a mass migration, that's probably not going to happen.
No problem. People will come in time
listen,
or whatever.
Listen,
whoever
please
will
listen.
leave whatever they need.
I think as far as
the word is
an economic going back to, I think that on a mass scale, I think that's kind of yearned for on an investment scale. Like, hey, that's why I keep just saying bonds, because you can't even get to all of this equity shit without a bond. Without bond markets being fully established. So I think that a lot of the energy kind of needs to be directed into money talk. Hey, here's how you invest, just keep it simple. Here's how I'm Senegal. This is how you invest in the Senegal National Bond.
You may not be aware of a lot of things that's been going
because
on. A lot of people have been trying to set up stuff that were not really on the foundation.
No, you set it up. You Senegalese. You set it
yes,
up.
I can.
I'm just trying
I'm telling you, I'm doing what I'm doing on the background. I swear to God.
But Senegal has nothing to do with Black Americans.
Whenever it reaches you, I swear it will.
But that doesn't mean that, hey, if they say, oh, here's where you can invest in the Senegalese national bond, the actual country. I honestly think you'll get traction. But as far as getting Black Americans to be damn near in a recession,
help
We ain't got
people
money
buy
to go
land
nowhere.
and it end up into some mess, and you know
Barely got
there's a
enough
lot
money
of problems. So everything gotta be like done on the right way, right timing, and right now is the proper time because there's young people, like young generation, the youngest generation in Africa, like is leading the presidency right now as I'm talking, and before they were like president, just as far as Senegal, the current president, he came out of jail to go to the presidential palace. Like to tell you how the fight was like tough and rough.
And they
We
need
made
finances.
sure young people that were like here for us, and they've been coming. So just pay attention to what's going on. Do your research.
Why
I'm
is
not
it
gonna
every
take
time
you.
a Black American say, where can I buy your national
Talk
bond?
to
Y'all
Dinus.
ignore
Talk
it.
to Dinus.
It's
Talk
like
to Dinus.
y'all don't want y'all don't want us to have that type of power.
It's not about
Is that
that.
what it
Talk
is?
to Dinus.
Hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and start closing out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.